Hey guys, welcome back to Chris's Vintage RCs. I figured this video I'd give you basically what got me started with the RC hobby. Right here is the first hobby grade RC that I got probably back late 90s. This was a huge upgrade for me. Typically before this thing, I had Radio Shack cars, or I believe not other cars from like Sears and stuff, but usually they would last, a couple weeks, months, take them in water. This basically was the first thing that I could actually run, beat the snot out of, enjoy. If I broke it, it was possible to fix it. As you can see, this is actually the original buggy I had as a kid. Not the original body. I pretty much destroyed that. And as you can see from the wheels, this thing has been used pretty hard. I found it probably 5-10 years ago in my parents' basement, all covered in dust. Took a little while of searching on eBay and stuff, picking it parts up and stuff, and get it back together. Tried to keep it as original as I could. I think at one point I did have electric speed control. I think it was an old Tech and RC speed control or something to that effect. But this is where she all started. As you can see from the car, still dirty, has a dust from back when I was a kid. But basically, after this car, the same time my dad, he was semi into RC cars. He was racing the very popular RC10. He did off-road racing with this car. Well, not really this car, but a car like this. And he did road racing with it for a short time. This is one I actually picked off eBay myself because I'm not sure what happened to the original car my dad had. So I tried to build this as a semi-tribute. All vintage components, like what he would have had. Only thing I know he didn't have at that time was a MIP transmission. But this was my first step basically into a race quality RC car. After this car, I stepped up to a championship edition RC10 gold pan. Then after that, I went to a team car, black chassis. And then I finally ended up with a RC10 graphite chassis. This was the original one I had. As you can see, when I actually got back into the hobby, I did what everyone was doing and converting it to run modern tires. Updated to the newer B4 hubs. RPM transmission, which originally didn't have. But this was the last RC10 I ever bought. I used in high school. Actually, sadly, thinking this would be the Billy Bad Boy of RC cars because it was so light. I actually had the worst luck when I converted to this from an aluminum pan. I guess it was the lack of weight. I just never, ever had good luck with this thing. I'm not sure if it's just do this. This chassis flex, the setup, I never figured this car out. Then we'll grab the last car, really, I used in high school. Pretty much used it in between the team car in a graphite. This was my dad's car. He used to race it at an embanked wood oval. It's a Bolink car he bought from a friend. I tried running this car too, and basically had the same problem that I had with the RC10 graphite chassis. It was just too light with my driving ability. I was always getting wrecked. Other cars, when I was racing in school, were mostly RC10s and other cars that were heavier, and the weight advantage didn't really help me at all because they would hit me or I'd clip something and it would just crash. Plus, with the car being so low to the ground, I usually had a lot of issues with the tracks I raced on. The carpet, the car would hang up, get caught, slow down. And at that time, being in high school, didn't have much money. Usually my electronics were secondhand, stuff from my dad or stuff, and used to have a lot of problems with the electronics, a lot of problems with the controllers, the receivers and stuff glitching. Problems that kids now don't have days or have that problem with. But basically, this is an overview of how I started. Some of the cars I have, some I don't from as a kid, but as you can see, it really grew from a couple cars. Now I have over 100, just like collecting and tinkering.